On to West Ham. They're plus 120 hosting Aston Villa, plus 240. The draw is plus 230. I like the Hammers here at home. I think we're starting to see this team head in the right direction a little bit, even though that they've only won one of their last three, and it's incredibly frustrating to keep going back to this well. But they're in 16th place in the Premier League. I just gave you their relegation odds. Their expected goal differential is plus 1.4. They should be around 10th in the league. They should probably be ahead of a team like Fulham. It's the defensive masterclass of David Moyes that drives this bus, and Villa's been kind of all over the place with their results. They are coming in off two back-to-back wins, but Palace, the 1-0 game against Palace that BJ dubbed the most boring game he's ever seen in prime time outside of the NFL. And then, of course,
to be fair, they did stick that in the 10 a.m. window, which was nice.
Yeah. And look, they did play pretty well defensively against Palace. Didn't give up anything. But that was at home. Going on the road should be a different story. They gave up 4.6 expected goals to Arsenal and Everton in the matches before that, 3.6 to City in the match before that, and then 2.6 to Leicester in the match before that. And then they also gave up more than 2 expected goals to Leeds. So this is just the type of defense that West Ham should be able to build a margin where their defense matters. So I like the Hammers here. BJ, what about you?
I do too. I think it's a great buy low spot for them. You know, I mentioned the game against Crystal Palace. Palace did get a red card about the 60th minute, and they only had 3 shots and 0.2 expected goals. But the Aston Villa defense, I think, is still quite bad. Ever since Stevenage knocked them out of the FA Cup, last 7 matches, you mentioned it, Michael, all of their expected goals they allowed. That's 14 expected goals in their last 7 matches. That's not good. It's just flat out not good. And I mean, listen, for West Ham, that was a terrible defensive performance against Brighton. But in the previous 7 matches before that, none of their opponents had created over 1.5 expected goals. They're still 5th in the Premier League in non-penalty expected goals allowed. They've been much better defensively at home versus on the road, 1.08 at home versus 3.2 expected goals per match on the road. And the West Ham offense is very good when matches become transitional, which I'm guessing this match is going to be. It's a good match for, a good, I think, mirror of what this match is probably going to turn out to be is the Everton-Aston Villa match, where it became very up and down, where Everton was constantly looking dangerous with direct attacks. Everton did create 1.9 expected goals. West Ham has the 3rd highest direct speed in the Premier League. They're very capable of pressing high when they want to and disrupting build-up play, which is a problem for Aston Villa. It's that when they play sides, when Unai Emery says, okay, yeah, we can build out of the back. This team's not a big pressing team. Similar to Everton, we'll just play out of the back, and then those teams just constantly will force high turnovers, get the ball moving forward when Aston Villa's out of position, and suddenly that's when you see teams like Leicester putting 4 in the back of the net. And I'm just not really sure how this Aston Villa offense is going to consistently break down one of the best low blocks in the Premier League, unless this game, again, becomes transitional, which is kind of what West Ham wants. Aston Villa is also going to be without Coutinho. He's 2nd on the team in progressive passes and carries per 90. They're going to be without Kamara, who has become one of a rock in the middle of their midfield. He's 3rd, 2nd most tackles plus interceptions for Aston Villa. So I have West Ham projected at minus 106. Aston Villa has not been good away from home, about a -6 expected goal differential, while West Ham does have a plus 3.3 expected goal differential at home. So I don't love that West Ham has to go to Cyprus for a Europa Conference League match on Thursday. I don't love that. But again, they're in the relegation fight. They have to take this very, very seriously. So I like this. I think this is just a really good buy low spot for West Ham. So I'm with you, Mike. I like the Hammers plus 120.